Alrighty, we're on. Welcome to officially the first episode of Podcast 41. Today, I have a very special guest. He was in.
First episode. I'm your guest on the first episode.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I have other episodes, but this is the first one I'm very taking seriously. I have my laptop. I have the webcam.
It's all official.
So this is the first one I'm actually taking seriously. Oh, official. This is official one.
All right. I got you.
I have a special guest today. He's in all the Marvel movies. You can tell by his clothes. I have Tony Stark with me today.
Yeah. Tony Stark here.
I'm just kidding.
Stark of the
one
Tony.
and only. I have Optibotimus here. 13 years on YouTube.
13
years.
Uh-oh. What? Say that again?
How was it being on YouTube for 13 years?
Oh. Let me put this into context for some of you. I know you're a young man. I started my YouTube channel in 2007. 13 years. So
OG YouTuber.
Context. Oh, yeah. Context for you. The very first iPhone just came out. I started October of 2007. So the iPhone released that summer. The very first iPhone. So not the iPhone, what are we up to now? 12 or something like that? I
think the 12 just came out, yeah.
Yeah. Also context, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there was no universe.
There hasn't started yet.
It hadn't even started yet. I'm trying to think other things. 2007. I mean,
isn't that when Batman Begins came out? I believe so, right? The Dark Knight came out in 2008, so it was either 2006 or 7. That's Batman Begins came out.
That's possible, but yeah, 13 years. It's a thing where you blink, and then 13 years of your life have gone by playing with toys and action figures. So.
What made you start going on YouTube? Was it like, this is this new thing, I'm just gonna go on it?
Well, no. Well, I mean, I had heard about YouTube. When did YouTube start? Like 2005?
Around there, yeah.
It was around that time. I was definitely a early adapter of the platform, but back then, it's so radically different than what it is now. I started because as a kid growing up in the 80s, I loved Transformers. Transformers, Ninja Turtles. I just got a new Ninja Turtle figure, a vintage Ninja Turtle. This is not even a turtle. This is a Triceratops he's a Triceratops dude. I don't know. I just got that. But I grew up with all that stuff. And that was my childhood. So people now, I mean, they have SpongeBob and they have Fortnite. That's what they grew up with now. I grew up with Ninja Turtles and Transformers. So in 2007, the first live-action Michael Bay movie came out. And it came out that summer. And I remember loving it. A lot of people don't like the Michael Bay movies, but you got to remember that in 2007, that was the first time that we saw Transformers on the big screen. Not the big screen, but live action. I was walking through a Walmart, and I saw the new toys that were on the shelf. So I grabbed one. It happened to be Ironhide, who in the new version transforms into like a GMC super truck thing, I don't know, and I bought it and could not figure out how to transform the thing. They're ridiculously more complicated to transform than when I was a kid. So I went to YouTube and I found a guy. His name was or is, I don't know if he's still around, but his name was Matrix Prime. And he talked about the figure, he reviewed the figure, talking about the good stuff, the bad stuff, all that. And then he showed how to transform it, which is what I wanted to know how to do, because I couldn't figure out how to transform the thing. So it came in his truck mode. So he showed how to transform it into the robot. So I got it there, and I'm like, cool. Wait, now how do I transform it back? Because his video ended. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I could do this. And I could sit there. I mean, it was just for fun back then. It was something to do. I had just gotten out of a very boring corporate job where I worked for a bank, and I ended up getting sick, and I took time off. And I was literally just sitting at my house, and I was bored. So I got a little TV dinner table. I actually have this here. It was sitting here from a previous show that I was doing myself. This is my original webcam that I used back in 2007. Now, again, context. This is a Logitech web camera. It only shoots in 240p resolution. Now, people probably don't even know what that is. But to give you an idea, 480 is what most, I want to say, DVDs are. Like when you put in a DVD and you put it on TV, 480 is usually
some people don't know what that is either now. So
you're not wrong, because everything's now 4K. So this is 240p. It's teeny tiny. It's teeny tiny. But I don't know why I kept that. I'm kind of glad that I did, because 13 years later I can say that that's the first camera that I ever used. Now I use my iPhone. I mean, I could probably talk about this later, but people ask me all the time how I can get into YouTube and stuff. And the tools that you have now are a million times better than what I started out with.
Especially in 2007, because not a lot of people had the iPhone when it first came out. They had grandma had like Razor. That's like more popular.
I had one of those. I had the Motorola Razr. I love that phone. I thought that was the coolest phone in the whole world.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that was like the skinniest phone. Yeah.
It was. I mean, that was the big thing about how skinny the phone was. You flip it open and it's super thin. But yeah, so I started doing it and just had fun with it. Back then, you could not upload a video longer than 10 minutes. Unless you were a YouTube partner, which then that removed the time limit for you. But you had to apply. There was an application process that you had to go through. Now there's all sorts of different rules and things to become a partner.
Yeah.
But back then you had to apply for it. You had to have a certain number of views, and then they would approve you. So my videos, I ended up having to break up into parts because I tend to talk a lot, and like, these videos are too long, so I just split them up into, usually it was 3 videos that I would do. I would show the robot mode. Then the next video would be how do I transform it, and then the last video would be the robot mode, or whatever the case may be, and then I would quickly transform it back to show people how to do that. So that was 2007. By 2009. The second Transformer movie came out, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and by then, everybody was going on YouTube searching Transformer stuff, and that's when my channel blew up. That's when I got a lot of traffic with it, and it was a free advertisement.
Basically. So you basically got on it before the hype was there.
Right. And because it was, like I said, not a lot of people using cameras or anything like that. I just happened to have a web camera at that point in time. But because of that, I had a leg up on everybody else. So it was fun. Early days. A lot less stress. back
I
then.
know, because not a lot of people were watching YouTube. Like 7 million was like just a big thing, just to have 7 million subscribers. The biggest thing and stuff like that. Epic Mealtime had like 7 million subscribers. I was like the biggest YouTube channel. Now it's like 1 million subscribers and all that stuff, and it's just crazy now. Everybody has a YouTube. Yeah.
Everybody does, and I mean that's again, so looking at 2007, social media didn't exist in 2007. People were maybe using Facebook, that was early, but most people were still using MySpace.
Yeah.
At that time, Twitter didn't exist. I don't think Instagram didn't. TikTok, none of this stuff existed.
Yeah. TikTok barely. It's just hard to believe like all this thing about a time before, like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and all that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Have you heard about the Spider-Man 3 news? With Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
I heard about that as a rumor.
Yeah.
I know up to a certain point, I heard that what's his name? He played Electro.
Oh, Jamie
Foxx. Jamie Foxx. Yeah, I heard he was supposed to be in it. I heard Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and even Doctor Strange is supposed to be in it, which
he's supposed to be a mentor,
sense.
But
I mean,
didn't they really start at the same time? Kind of like, I know because Tony Stark did 10 years before Spider-Man did it, and it made sense that he was a mentor. But Doctor Strange didn't he kind of start at the same time as Spider-Man did?
Doctor
Or I guess
Strange
is like older.
Doctor Strange started at the same time.
Spider-Man didn't he, or did he start like a little bit before?
You mean in terms of like comic books?
Yeah. No, like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
About that
like,
same time.
So I guess the only mentor kind of.
We first got Spider-Man with Civil War.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
But Doctor Strange was a prequel, so I guess you can kind of say he started a little bit before, but
kinda, yeah.
I guess because he's older than Spider-Man, so that's probably the mentor kind of thing.
Yeah, that's not.
Have you seen Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse?
I've seen Into the Spiderverse, and I think that's what they might be trying to go with all this stuff going on, because we know that from what we know is for sure is that Doctor Strange is going to have some kind of influence on the WandaVision series that's coming out on Disney Plus, and that's going to be going around with different universes, or not universes, but like dimensions and stuff. And I know that if I'm not mistaken, I think Sam Raimi is directing the new
Doctor
Strange movie. So, and for people that don't know, Sam Raimi was the one who started the whole Spider movies with Tobey Maguire 1, 2, 3. So I think it's really a nice throwback to bring him back in, because I look at things with the Spider-Man movies and even the X-Men movies. Those movies really started things for Iron Man to come around. So the popularity of those really showed that comic book movies can be successful, and then it leads into Iron Man, and then that takes off.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see Sam Raimi come back and do things, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to be playing with multi-dimensions.
Yeah.
Why not bring in Andrew Garfield? And that ties everything in.
Yeah.
And lets those movies still be enjoyed, because you can look at it and see that those exist in another dimension. And because all these reboots end up happening, it's like, well, we just got these movies.
Yeah.
And now you're going to reboot it again? It's like, that's annoying. So,
I think that's the next step for the Marvel Universe, because after Endgame, there was like, what's next for the Marvel Universe? You know, we're getting the XMen and Fantastic Four, but there was no really like excitement for you know, the next phase in the Marvel Universe. I think that Spider-Man 3 bringing still rumored, not confirmed, bringing back Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I think that reinvigorates like the Marvel Universe, and
it makes people stand up and pay attention.
Yeah,
I definitely think, and because Homecoming, or not Homecoming, Far From Home was the first movie after Endgame, and kind of was let's show how specifically Peter Parker is dealing with Tony Stark dying. So it's interesting because Tony Stark kind of became a father figure to him, much like Uncle Ben was a father figure to previous versions of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do the Uncle Ben thing and him witnessing the death of him and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I remember thinking then that that was a good way to avoid
doing that same thing.
Same stuff. Yeah. You already jump into Spider-Man already existing. I thought that was a great way of doing it. And now he kind of latched on to Tony, and now Tony's gone. Now we're getting that, how does he deal with the loss of Uncle Ben, but this time it's now Tony Stark. So that was interesting. And then COVID happened, and all of the Disney Plus things that were, I want to say that Falcon and Winter Soldier was already supposed to be out. I think that one and WandaVision were pretty close. Yeah. To around now being released. So.
And Black Widow was supposed to be released already as well.
Black Widow was
so that got moved back.
Released like 2 months ago or something like that. Yeah. So I did see something. Somebody sent me a link that they might be doing the same kind of thing with Disney Plus for Black Widow that they did with the live-action Mulan movie, where you will pay to be able to watch the movie. And then at another point in time, it'll be free for everybody to watch. Okay. At this point in time, because right now, I think that got delayed. I know it's gotten delayed for theatrical release until next year. Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, everything's kind of up in the air with it, but that one I'm really interested in, because we all know, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Endgame by now, go away. That's, I mean, you shouldn't even be.
Well, if you're not on the Marvel train by now, you're not.
Right. It's you know, if this is a spoiler for you, then you obviously don't care enough. So it doesn't matter.
It's made $1 billion, so
right. Yeah. Exactly.
People saw it. Yeah.
So this one seems to go back and show an earlier version, obviously, when she's in Russia as more of the Black Widow than somebody from S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Avengers. So it takes place at an earlier time.
It supposedly takes place during the time of Civil War, the movie.
That's what I've heard too. So like right around that time, or maybe a little bit after or something, but
around there.
Clearly before she died. So my guess, and this is just a guess, is that it may start out as a present day movie where maybe some of her friends are sitting there reminiscing, like maybe Clint, Hawkeye, is talking about her to his wife. Who knows what? I mean, it's all speculation. And then it goes to a flashback and shows, and again, my guess, how maybe Hawkeye and her meet way back in the day. That's just a guess on my part. I mean, I have no idea. But that would be an interesting story to see. But again, this is a story that takes place before the events of Endgame.
Yeah.
So how are you going to? This is kind of what you were talking about. Like now that Endgame's over and that phase of the movies is over, how are you going to keep it going? Because we got Spider-Man. Now with Black Widow, it seems like it's going to be going back in time and telling us a pre-story. I don't even know what you want to call it. Like a prequel sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so how are you moving the story along? How are you advancing things? And I don't think we're going to get really any of that until some of these Disney Plus series start hitting. I mean, we're going to have that. We're going to have the Winter Soldier, Wanda, Loki.
But that seems like it's gonna be unless you get it back, Loki, he always dies and he comes back, but
right. Well, and
so I don't know how
that's a good way to get Loki back into that bad guy, sort of thing. Which
we liked him,
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, most people always liked Loki, even when he was a bad guy. But
I think he was the first good bad guy, so yeah.
He was, very true, very true. And you cared about him as a character, and now I think it's going to go back, and that's going to, then we're going to get the second Doctor Strange movie, which I love Doctor Strange. I've always liked the character of Doctor Strange, so I was excited to see him kind of play a role in the Infinity War and Endgame movie. Not so much Endgame, but that I'm excited about the new one coming out. Really also kind of curious about the third Thor movie. Really curious to see where that's going to go. And that combined with the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah.
Because we know that Thor is hanging out with the Guardians. So how does this all play? I mean, so I think that they got some good places to go with the universe now. And as you mentioned, with getting the Fantastic Four
X-Men.
And the X-Men and everything, I think that's going to just broaden the base. I think that people are, especially with X-Men, I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are that one I think is they're going to have to pay really close attention to, because so many people grew up with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine or Patrick.
And then they sent it on the send off for Hugh Jackman as well, and Logan was a great set. So I think that someone do you think they should just recast everybody and stuff?
At this point I think that Fox screwed up the X-Men universe so bad. I mean, the first few movies weren't bad.
Yeah.
But then everything got completely stupid with them. So, what's that?
Yeah, the continuity is just crazy,
It's
but
all over the place. It's all over the place.
They made 3 good movies, maybe.
Yeah.
With Logan being them, of course.
Logan, yeah, I would agree with that. The cool thing is, again, and I saw this as like a fan theory, that in the Logan movie, in the scene where Professor X is inside that silo thing, if you go back and watch that movie, and I'm trying to remember exactly, he's talking to somebody or something's happening there, and then Logan comes in and he snaps out of it. Somebody said that would be a real good way of having, like, maybe Doctor Strange show up and be talking to Professor X, and then right before Logan comes in there, then he disappears. That would be a nice way to connect the multiverse. And I was like, that's not a bad idea. That would be really, really cool to do. And I like, Fox was so bad at, like you said, with the continuity, whereas Marvel is extraordinarily good.
Yes.
I mean, they are so good that they dropped that little nugget of, what is it, barf? Tony Stark was using that augmented reality thing where he was talking to his parents.
Yeah.
And the designer
Yeah.
of it is who we get as bad guys in Far From Home.
Yeah.
Or even going back even further, the scientist that Obadiah was yelling at because he wasn't able to recreate the arc reactor. And he's like, Tony Stark made this in a cave. And the guy's like, well, I'm not Tony Stark. That same doctor is the doctor that they used
in the
Far From Home. So him and the Mysterio guy, they work together. So that's dropping some amazing nuggets in a place and then pulling back on them. I mean, they're good at it, like really good. So I'm happy to see that Marvel's going to be handling those.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a little while before we start getting something. But I wouldn't be surprised if they started sprinkling mutants or the Fantastic Four in like end credit scenes.
Yeah.
Or something. Anything's possible.
I think that a lot of people want. I think that Marvel's getting the Marvel movie is getting the right to them next year, I believe, or 2022 to the Marvel Next people. Like the Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Punisher. I think that would be cool. And Vincent D'Onofrio played a phenomenal Kingpin in Daredevil. He wants to reprise the role in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
So I think that maybe Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 4, maybe he could, like be that villain because he played a phenomenal Kingpin in Daredevil. Because he played phenomenal.
I mean, it was really impressive. I mean, he had all of that, the strength of Kingpin, the psychosis of him, all of it was really well done. And I think that it's a nice setup because most of us know that Marvel is only able to do this last Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland under the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they're already involving other things. So like with the Venom movie, we get a tease of Carnage with what was it? What was the one?
Morbius?
Morbius is there, but in the Morbius movie, we get a tease of Michael Keaton's character, which was the Vulture. So they're starting, Sony is starting to incorporate the stuff there. It feels like they finally have learned how to handle that, and they let Marvel set them up for it. So, I mean, we're already going to have Carnage. We're already going to have Venom. We're already going to have Spider-Man, Morbius, Vulture. I mean, all these characters are there for them to use, and I think they've wanted to do this forever, and that's build to a Sinister Six movie. And I don't think they could have done it on their own.
No.
They didn't have the wherewithal to do it.
Yeah.
But Marvel gave them the stepping stones, gave them the blocks to help build that. And that could be good. I really liked Venom. I thought that was a really good movie. I thought Tom Hardy nailed it.
Yeah. I think he's the reason why the movie works.
Agreed. I mean, he was able to nail that character. And the duality of the symbiote and Eddie. So you got those nailed. I do think that Woody Harrelson as Carnage is an interesting choice. Not that he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
I just feel like he might be a little bit too old.
Yeah.
But anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, and he can play a psychopathic murderer well. So I think that's really good. Like I said, I Michael Keaton, I thought did a really good job as Vulture. It was a different take to it, which I thought was good. And then, Mysterio's gone. But you got Morbius that's going to be coming in, who is always kind of like an anti-hero sort of thing as well. I don't know if they're going to incorporate Venom as part of the Sinister Six storyline.
Because he was more of a hero than
He
a
well, I
villain.
mean, in the
But he
beginning,
did kill. But
especially in the movie. In the movie, they played the anti-hero
Yeah.
thing more with him,
Yeah.
whereas in the original comics, he started out as a bad guy.
yeah,
So
I just want to see Tom Holland in the Venom Spider-Man suit.
that would be cool.
That's
That
what I
would
want.
be cool. But we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell.
And speaking of Michael Keaton, what do you think about? I don't know if you heard this. Him returning as Batman in the Flash movie. Because I know he's like your favorite Batman. So what do you think about him? Cape Crusader.
I have said this for a number of years that the Batman movies, Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman. He nails Bruce Wayne. He nails Batman. You got to have both of those in a superhero movie. You got to be able to get the alter ego and the superhero. And he nailed it in my mind. And now that he's older, another really good series in terms of the Batman universe is Batman Beyond.
Yes.
And I think that he would be a perfect old man Bruce to a younger, I don't even know, I don't even care, a Terry McGinnis. You cast that person, you're going to have a young, up-and-coming Batman protege, and you're going to have the old Michael Keaton there. So that's definitely something that I could see again with Flash in using the Flashpoint multiverse, being able to have Ben Affleck in it, who I think also is a really damn good Batman.
I agree with you,
Wayne. I think that he nailed it right from the beginning. And I'll tell you, the scene that locked it in for me was when we first saw him in Batman versus Superman. In the beginning, he's Bruce Wayne. Yeah. And all the buildings are falling, and he gets to Metropolis, and he just runs right into everything falling down. I said, that right there nailed it. That is what Bruce Wayne would do, and he nailed it. And, I mean, I like Christian Bale as Batman as well, but I felt that Ben did a really good job as him. And everybody was freaking out with the Batman not having him in it. I said, this is a younger version of Batman. Yeah. It can't be Ben Affleck. It has to be somebody else. It can be, this movie can exist in the same universe as Ben Affleck as an older Batman. Yeah. So, and then when I saw in Crisis in Infinite Earths with the
Kevin Conroy?
With what?
With Kevin Conroy as Batman?
Well, when I saw that, I mean, that was no. When they brought in what's his name? The guy who played Flash in the movies.
Ezra Miller.
Yes. When they brought him in, blew my mind. Instantly blew my mind. I said, that right there is your Flashpoint.
That's why supposedly fan theory. I think that's what they're gonna do. That's what they said they're gonna do. Is that's where he got the name Flash, because he wasn't called Flash. And just when he goes there, that's like, oh, you're the Flash. He's like, who's the Flash? So I think that's where he gets the name, the Flash. Yeah, I think that would be really cool to connect everything like that.
Absolutely, and it's cool to see like that whole Crisis storyline was so good in terms of connecting everything with DC. Yeah. I mean, I mean, they connected it to the '89 Batman. They connected it to the '60s Batman. Everything connected in these alternate dimensions, and it was absolutely brilliant to see that. And with him coming in, meeting, the two Barrys meeting face to face, I was like, that's how they do it, right there. That's how they do Flashpoint and get everybody in there, which also then can include Ben Affleck back as Batman. You can get Michael Keaton back in there, which then you can instantly take that Michael Keaton Batman as an older Batman and then branch off to a solo movie with him.
Batman Beyond. Yeah.
A Batman Beyond movie. Absolutely. That takes place.
Which we all been wanting. This is like.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a. Yeah. Batman Beyond is, for those who don't know, is basically a spin-off from Batman the animated series where Bruce Wayne is in his 80s and he can't be Batman anymore, and he trains a new kid who's basically Terry McGinnis to be the new Batman. And that Batman is phenomenal. I highly recommend you go watch that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And I just want to talk about
if you're a fan of Batman the animated series, that's a great one to go into.
Marvel does the cinematic stuff really well, but DC does animation very well, whereas Marvel is kind of lacking in the animation department. Like, I don't know if you know, you're a big fan. Did you know that there was a Galaxy cartoon?
No, I never even knew.
Yeah, it was on Disney. It was on the same time as Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So it was around like 2014 when that movie came out.
Oh, okay.
When everybody was hyping, it broke all the records. So all this Marvel animation stuff is, they're just lacking in that. I think they're more focused on making movies, which is, making more money and all that stuff. But DC knows how to do animation, so
they have a lot of really
Batman the animated series.
That's where their talent is. Their talent is with the animation, which is great because they tell some really good stories with their animated stuff. I mean, talking about Batman animated series, Mask of the Phantasm is a phenomenal movie. I mean, and that's going back 20 years. I mean, so they've been doing animated movies well for a while.
And Batman Mask of the Phantasm is on Netflix right now. I recently rewatched it, and I'm like, this still holds up. It's one of the first to use to draw on black paper to make it a little more dark and mysterious.
That's true.
That is very Kevin Conroy as Batman Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker as Joker, and they've been playing it ever since till this day. If you play the series, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Yeah, two amazing. And
talents. I don't know if you've seen have you seen Young Justice?
I've seen parts of it. If I'm not Young Justice, that there was an episode of Young Justice that explained, if I'm not mistaken, that explained that Terry McGinnis is actually the clone of Bruce Wayne. Is that the same thing?
That's Justice League the animated series. Justice League Unlimited. Okay. Because of Batman Beyond didn't have a conclusion. The writers went to go create Justice League, so they didn't really have a conclusion for Batman Beyond. So in the Justice League Unlimited, they had like a special episode dedicated to saying, McGinnis is Batman's clone, basically. Yeah.
Right. And basically,
but Young Justice is basically a series of basically. That's why he has black hair. His parents have brown hair and stuff like that, and he has black hair, and so does his. So they're kind of saying maybe his brother's the son of him as well.
Right.
But it was Amanda Waller, the Suicide Squad and all that stuff. So but Young Justice basically it started off as kind of like the Justice League members, and they have their own sidekicks, right? That's the sidekicks have their own show basically, and then they grow and they become members of the league and stuff like that. Best animation I've ever seen. The voice acting is, and it's one of those shows. How we're getting the Snyder Cut right now. It's one of those shows where fans actually brought it back to create because cool. After season 2 it ended. So it ended in 2012. And the producer, 2015 is like, oh, it's on Netflix, guys. If you guys want, a season 3, watch it on Netflix. Just keep rewatching it, just keep watching, turn it on. And then in 2019, from 2012 to 2019, we had a season 3. So it's like one of those things where brought back series just like the Snyder Cut. And
it's amazing. It's amazing what fans can do.
Movies fans are just gonna I highly recommend anybody watch Young Justice. It's literally one of the best looking shows aesthetically, and the voice acting is phenomenal. You get some leaguers, but it's mostly about the sidekicks of like Robin, Aqualad, Wonder Girl, be spoiled. All these other Kid Flash,
Right.
and phenomenal.
I guess I'll have to check it out now too.
And yeah, highly recommend that. Highly recommend that. It's one, and just to continue the series as well. I think we're getting to season 4. We're getting Lex Luthor in it and all that stuff. So that's really cool. But going back to the Spider-Man news, with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being in the live-action version, I would have really liked them to hear their voices in Into the Spider-Verse Part 2.
That would be.
I don't know if they, that would be, I mean, more cool. Just from my perspective, I'm glad they're going to be action.
It would allow them to kind of bring Miles into the universe as well.
Yeah.
And have it's just another universe. But this one's just
where Peter Parker. Yeah.
So
I can't really wait for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. That was probably the best animated movie of
It was the story.
That's like the first Marvel thing with Sony, but it's the story was good. The animation was different.
Yeah.
It's it's nothing like we've ever seen before.
Right, but it was a story that really was well told. I thought it was one of the best. If you could take that and make that into a live action movie, that'd be a great movie.
And have you heard of I don't know if you heard about the Zack Snyder cut?
Oh yeah, of course. Who hasn't heard about that?
Yeah. Are you did you watch Justice League?
Did I watch what? Justice League?
You watched the
Yes. I watched the I mean, we're getting the extended version of it now. I'm one of I didn't mind it the way that it was. A lot of people don't know. I mean, like Zach had a family emergency thing, and he had to leave directing, and then the director of which one did I know?
Ultron.
He did Age of Ultron. Yeah, Joss Whedon.
He did the Age of Ultron, and then the first Avengers movie.
Right.
Well,
Right. And he came in and finished this, and there's a big difference between the tone that Zach was trying to set and what Joss was trying to do. So I'm curious to see it in its final realized form.
Yeah.
I did just see a rumor that apparently, again, that the Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah, I just heard that today too. Yeah.
This one. So again,
I don't know where, but
who knows? But I mean, it's all.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Affleck was in the first Suicide movie.
Yeah.
In a flashback scene.
Yeah.
But he was there. So I mean, you could easily do something like that with Jared Leto. I mean, that's not my favorite version of the Joker by any stretch, but at least again, there's continuity that they're trying to bring back into things. So we'll see.
Hopefully, because I know that Martian Manhunter was supposed to be in the movie.
That would be interesting.
Within the Justice League movie. The part I got mad at was they showed a part of they showed a snippet of Green Lantern in like the first fight of Justice League with like Zeus and the first Themyscirians and all that stuff. They showed like Green Lantern die, and I'm like, okay, we could have had a Green Lantern in the movie, and we didn't. But Zack Snyder's going to get a Green Lantern. We're going to get Superman in a black suit from Death. I'm like, finally, geez, getting that.
The black suited look.
What else? Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter was supposed to be, the general. He was supposed to be the general in because he was in Superman, Man of Steel.
Right.
And then he was in Justice League as well. And Batman vs Superman. So he was supposed to be Martian Manhunter. So hopefully, I think that fully realizing because Zack Snyder did Superman, Batman vs Superman, and not Justice League. because Joss Whedon did it. I think that's why the Marvel universe works so well, because Kevin Feige is different directors, but Kevin Feige's like, okay, we have to have, we're gonna have this in here because he's the one who's tailoring the story to one movie. So I think that if it's one person overseeing these movies, I think we're gonna have better movies as well.
Of course. That's just
like in the DC TV shows, like with the Flash, Arrow, Greg Berlanti's overseeing that stuff. And when you get the crossovers, these characters know each other. They're long friends. Barry, best man. So and I think we're getting different universes in that as well, like Stargirl. Highly recommend that show. A lot of people fell asleep on that show, and I watched it, and I was like, and that's why I like DC. They're showing more characters that we don't really know a lot about, because we've had the Batmans, we had the Supermans. I think it's time, for the Martian Manhunters, Stargirls.
Should be.
To see these characters that we don't know about.
He's a big character. You got to get him in somehow.
Yeah.
So.
And then in the DC TV shows, we're getting Firestorm. We're getting Stargirl. A lot of these characters that are not in the main continuity, and not a lot of people know who they are. Lucifer, great show as well. It's in the DC universe. Highly recommend that show as well. But I think that getting character like with the Marvel universe is doing, like no one knew who really Tony Stark was before Iron Man. Guardians of the Galaxy. No one knew who Guardians of the Galaxy was before that movie. So I think Marvel is doing something right by getting these characters, and people can't say, "Oh, that's not my Guardians of the Galaxy," because no one really knows about it, so they can do whatever they want. This, change that, and not a lot of people complain. But when you do like Batman, people complain about before Michael Keaton, they wanted to cancel him to be Batman because he was in
people did
movie, Beetlejuice and Mr. Mom.
Yeah, people did not want Heath Ledger to be the Joker, and now there's arguments about who is the best Joker, and he always comes up. So,
yeah, and Ben Affleck as well. A lot
Ben Affleck, he ruined that Daredevil.
He was in Daredevil.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, he didn't ruin the director ruin that.
That's true.
But this is what not to do with the Marvel movie, because he was in that. He was his best friend. He's like, oh, this is what not to do with this movie.
All those movies, as bad as they were, they gave us good versions later on. Now you look at the Netflix version of Daredevil. That's amazing.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing series. I mean, if they could get rid of everything else, they could get rid of Jessica Jones, they could get rid of Luke Cage, you could get rid of all of that. If you kept Charlie Cox as Daredevil and brought him in,
yes,
an absolute win. An absolute win.
And John, his name, Bernthal as Punisher. You gotta win. Them two. Him as Punisher, and then Charlie Cox as. And then they had good chemistry, in season 2 when they introduced the chemistry between Punisher and Daredevil.
Right.
Just phenomenal. And again, I'll bring back King. Vincent D'Onofrio. Again, one of my favorite actors. Anything he's in, it's like one of those things where, like, if he's in the movie, I'm gonna go see it. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about last thing. A lot of people sleep on this movie, and it's going to be remade, and I'm excited for this. Blade, which just started like the popularity of this was before Spider-Man, I think before X-Men.
Yeah, that was kind of like
Blade. That
was kind of like one of the first real big superhero movies that was rated R. And I think a lot of people forget about Blade.
Yeah.
When you talk about rated R movies like Deadpool or Logan, people forget that Blade was there.
Blade,
now, granted, Blade might not be a rated R movie by today's standards.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, how much blood can you show on TV for
well,
PG-13?
that's the thing. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know exactly how that works out. But Wesley Snipes did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
In that, the whole trilogy was extremely well done, I thought.
Yeah.
And really, again, I mean, I talked about the X-Men movies and the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Blade really went out there as well and set a good standard for them. I would not mind seeing Blade reimagined.
He's gonna be. He's
not necessarily reimagined, but getting a new incarnation of it now, many years later, as long as they again do it the right way.
Well, they're gonna do a Disney Plus series,
right?
have you seen Luke Cage?
Oh yeah, I have. Not a big fan of it.
The first villain in Luke Cage, that guy, he's gonna play a Blade, and I think that it's cool that we're gonna get Blade because this is gonna be for first time we're gonna get vampires in the MCU.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not going to be MCU, but with Morbius already, I mean, granted that's Sony, but at least when it comes down to some of this stuff, it looks like Sony and Marvel are at least working together.
Yeah.
With some of this stuff, so I mean, I'm curious to see how they're going to bring it in. I'm curious to see if it will connect in any way to the original trilogy, or if it's a completely reimagined thing. That's where I would hope that it would have some kind of connection to it.
I really wanted Wesley Snipes to come back, but
well, yeah, but I mean,
the actor who's playing him is good. He's a good actor.
Agreed.
He was really good, but
you could easily just have him there as a fan nod.
Yeah.
Type of a thing. So
he probably will be. He has nothing better
going on.
To do.
He's got nothing going on.
If they ask him, if Marvel asks him, he would say yes. I think
absolutely.
He's one of the people who be like, yes, I'm in.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't got no money.
I was in.
You're gonna pay me $500. I'll be there.
I'll be there. I'll pay you to be in the movie. He's one of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but
you can be in. Okay.
That one's definitely one that I'm interested in seeing as well. Coming around, there's a lot of good stuff coming with the Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So I think that if it does connect to the MCU in some way, we're getting and Doctor Strange being a horror movie, the first horror movie in the MCU. So maybe that's a way to introduce Blade if anything else, it's just the series on first horror movie and then vampires and
definitely possible.
That's my dream. Yeah, and I love vampire stuff. Every time I say I love vampire stuff, people say, "Oh, so you like Twilight?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's other vampire stuff besides Twilight." Okay.
Right. Sparkly.
And no, I don't like
the sparkly.
That's not my stuff. Yeah.
Get that gone.
And then last question: what do you think about Robert Pattinson being the new Batman? You see the trailer for it?
I've seen the trailer, and this is literally all I will say. And I'm going to echo what Christian Bale said when somebody asked him about Robert Pattinson. You know what? He needs to make it his own. He does not. He can't try to copy someone else. He needs to make it his own. And just remember, and we talked about this already tonight, that Heath Ledger was the idea of having him as the Joker was hated.
Yeah.
Now he's
one of the best Jokers of all time.
Best Jokers of all time. Michael Keaton, you talked about it. The Mr. Mom movies, and
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, all these comedies that he did. They're like, you're gonna make him Batman?
Yeah.
And now he's up there as being considered the greatest Batman ever. So he needs to make it his own and not listen to anybody else. And from I'm only aware of him through the Twilight. I've never seen Twilight, but that's the only way that I know of him.
Yeah.
But so many other people that I've talked to that have seen other movies with him in it all say that he is a phenomenal actor. So I think it'll come down to whether or not he can make it his own.
Yeah.
If the story is good.
Yeah.
Because an actor with a shitty story is going to look bad.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a good story.
I trust Matt Reeves.
I wish him luck.
Matt Reeves, who made the last two Planet of the Apes movies, were phenomenal. And he's bringing back the guy who played Caesar. Who was the bad guy in Black Panther? The white guy. I forgot his name. He's playing Alfred.
Oh, he's playing Alfred in it?
But anyway,
Andy Serkis.
Yeah. Andy Serkis, yes. He's playing Alfred in it. Which, it's a different take. Playing Jim Gordon is a different take. Selena Kyle. But Matt Reeves, the way he talked about in the DC fandom thing, I trust that he's going to make a phenomenal movie.
Every time I tell
in the trailer,
go in without any expectations.
Yeah.
It's hard to do because it's Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
But go in with an open mind as much as possible. Don't listen to other people.
Yeah.
Go and watch it yourself and just take it for what it is. Don't compare it to other things. Take it for what it is and ultimately just have fun with it. It's a Batman movie.
Yeah.
I mean, time will tell. We'll see. We'll see. He could be. We might be talking about him in a year as the greatest Batman ever. We might also be saying he's the worst Batman ever. But
I don't know if George Clooney might have something to say about that. But
and on that note, yeah.
I've been a Robert Pattinson fan for. I've been on the Robert Pattinson Bat Thing fan for. When it was announced, I was like, oh, I could see that. He's tall. And when I heard who the director was, I'm like, okay, it's in good hands. I think it's gonna be a great movie. Batman's my favorite superhero of all time. I've read the comics, I've watched TV shows, and I think he's gonna do a great job. And plus, with a great director, you can't go wrong.
Agreed.
And all the villains that's gonna be, I think it's supposed to be like a long Halloween kind of thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, and he's already gonna be we're not gonna do an origin story, which I thought was cool. It's gonna be like a year 2 kind of thing. So which was also like, okay, we're not gonna do his parents getting killed and all that stuff. He's gonna he's already gonna be Batman, and I think that's what's cool. Like how you were saying earlier, Spider-Man. He's like he was already Spider-Man. You don't need the story and all that stuff. Yeah.
We all know how Batman becomes Batman. We don't need it anymore.
We don't need it anymore. So he's already year 2. He already knows how to. He's kind of still new to it.
Right.
But he's ready. So, and the Batmobile, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not as big because they're getting bigger and bigger. Christian Bale's tank and Ben Affleck's tank.
Time, give him time as well. To get that big of a Batmobile.
Yeah, like in Batman Begins, that suit was okay when they went to the Dark Knight. That's like my favorite Batman suit of all time. With
there you go. That's a nice suit.
The first thing where he was the first time to turn his head like that. Yeah.
Right.
So I think the next Batman suit is gonna be an upgrade, and I like the Batman suit right now too. So, and on that note, I think that we're gonna do conspiracy theories, but I think I'm gonna say that for next episode.
There you go.
Because a whole bunch of people wrote in for conspiracy. So I think I'm gonna do a whole thing on that. So on that note, make sure to go to my Instagram, pod_cast51, and I'm gonna be posting all the stuff for this podcast. So and thank you, Paul, for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, buddy.
I really, from the bottom of my heart, it really means a lot. It really means a lot that you were on the show. Alrighty, thank you. Make sure to go subscribe. Make sure to go watch his channel, Optibotimus. Because you probably explain it better
In terms of say that again. You
for
cut
your
out.
channel. Your reviews on Hot Toys, right?
Wait, say that again.
You review Hot Toys,
Yeah.
right? Specifically,
Hot Toys, Marvel, DC, pretty much anything. Anything Marvel, anything DC, action figures, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, Jurassic Park. I mean, if it's around, I probably have something.
Yeah.
So that's my jam.
And on that note, make sure to go subscribe. And again, follow me on Instagram, pod_cast51. And I'll see you guys next week.
Did that work?
Recording. Let's see. Probably cut that out later too.
Oh, sorry.
All right. No worries, Paul. Alrighty, Paul. Yeah, have a good night.
Thank you, sir. We'll do this again. Hit me up. Hit me up again.
Alrighty, you have a good one.
All right. Have a good night, bud.
Alrighty, bye-bye.